Hey everyone, Garrett from Naked and Famous, and I'm back again with another great fade review on how this stretch selvage goes from this to this. But before we get into the fade review, do me a big favor, hit that like button, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Okay, so over here we have a brand new pair of the stretch selvage from Naked and Famous Denim, 12.5 ounce indigo rope dyed denim. We've had these around for basically since the beginning. So this is one of our most popular and best selling styles, the stretch selvage. And as a result, a lot of people have been wearing them over the years, and we've gotten a few faded pairs back, and I want to show you guys this one. This one was hanging out in the store. We actually have it hung up right beside the piles of the stretch selvage, just as an example, so you can see how it's going to turn out. So let's get into it. I'm going into this completely blind because I don't know about this pair. So let's just check the pockets to see if there's any notes. I don't think so. Let's check the inside. Okay, so this is actually a really interesting pair. This is a super skinny guy, stretch selvage. So it's 2% stretch, size 33. For those of you wondering, oh, what's the super skinny guy? Is that a different fit? The super skinny guy is exactly the same as the super guy. It's just that we changed the name a few years back. Some people were getting a little confused because they're like, it's not super skinny. I think it's still pretty skinny. But back then, there were people wearing painted on jeans. So it wasn't super skinny enough. So anyways, it is this super guy. And this pair was worn by Evan. And Evan is an employee who used to work here way back when. So shout out to Evan for donating this pair of jeans. It looks like he wore them pretty hard, but let's get into this fade review. Okay, so starting from the top, we can see here right away that this is not a super old pair, but a decently old pair because it is a super skinny guy, but it's only sewn in on two sides on the label there. Looking at the buttons here, we can see a little bit of brassing on the side here and actually like a chip or like a little mark. I don't know if you can see that here, but at some point he probably came up against something hard or something hit that top button pretty hard and made a dent in that button. The rivets overall are looking pretty pristine and some nice fading on the coin pocket area here and some creases in the pockets, which generally leads me to believe that these were a little bit on the tighter side when you get that pocket creasing as well. Coming down, we have again more evidence that these were worn on the snug side because look how straight across, how parallel, how tight these are worn. You can really tell that it was pulling on the buttons here a little bit, and yeah, you can see there's a little bit of extra wear on the inside of that buttonhole. Basically, the tighter the jeans are, the more they're going to wear on the inside and kind of stretch out that buttonhole area there. But really nice whiskers on here, quite well defined. You can also see the natural kind of streakiness of this denim, how, you know, some of those yarns are dyed a little bit more or a little bit less, and you get these natural streaks that almost run the whole length of the jean and give it that cool vintage raw denim look. Coming down a little bit further, we have quite a good amount of fading on the lower thigh area. A lot more on this side than this side. So something tells me Evan was doing something with his left leg that he wasn't doing with the right. But either way, looks good on both sides. Coming down to the knees, no holes in the knees, just a little bit of fading. So, you know, my guess is Evan, and I'm pretty sure he was doing more of an office job, not obviously construction or anything. So not too much wear and tear on the knees. And on the outseam, you can see here, pretty much no evidence of the railroad tracks. So I'm guessing maybe not washed a ton on this pair because the more you wash, the more you'll see those railroad tracks kind of popping up, or if you rub up your outseam against a lot of stuff. Coming down to the bottom, you can see here that this fabric is actually quite new looking, not very faded. If you compare it to this one, yes, it's turned a little bit more blue color, but that's just, you know, from the water and a little bit of washing, it will kind of lighten and become a little bit more saturated. But overall, this is like pretty new, not very faded. Coming down to the bottom, we have some stacking fades. It looks like these were cuffed for sure. You can see some folds, some creases in there. So they definitely were cuffed, but they also looks like they were definitely stacking up here a little bit as well, which is pretty cool. On the inside, we can still see the original chain stitch hem, which is holding up nicely. And the selvage is perfect. Little white, red, white selvage. And same with the other side. Not a ton of roping to report, but nice fading along the edge of the leg opening. Oh, and also, look, we can see a little bit of damage here. This is usually when your jeans kind of like rub together, your shoes kind of rub together when you walk. So interesting little holes forming on the inseam there. Come around to the back. We have the patch, the leather patch at the top, and it is in very good condition here. I'll do a little side by side here. There's the new one, there's the old one, and they're almost identical. So very nice condition on the patch. Embossing is still very visible, no major shrinkage or damages. So very nice patch, doesn't even really need any oil. Interesting fading line here on the top of this, which makes me think that this is maybe, it was kind of folded or something like that, perhaps. I don't know. Was he wearing a belt? Seems like he may have been wearing a belt. There's quite a bit of abrasion on the sides of the belt loops here. Hard to say, hard to say. Also a lot of abrasion on the top of this belt loop as well. Not quite sure what that, I'm guessing he was wearing a belt and there was something kind of like pushing up on this, and that's why that area is a little bit more worn out. Coming down here, you can see here the bottom of the yoke. Not too much fading, but on that center point at the back, a little bit of fading coming out on that, probably from, you know, sitting down or, you know, leaning against walls. In the back pockets, it looks like we have a wallet. Let's see, is it the same size and shape as the card case? It looks like Evan probably was wearing and using the same Naked and Famous Denim leather card case that we all do here. So that's what he had in his back pocket. I can almost say for sure. Coming down a little bit lower, again, you see that really nice streakiness on this fabric. I am a sucker for a streaky classic fabric like this. And you can see here quite a blowout that has formed and no attempts to repair. It seems like this pair, they started to rip and he just raw dogged it. He just kept going with it. And yeah, so they're falling apart slowly. I think had he repaired them earlier or given it more attention, these jeans would have had a lot more life in them. You can clearly see that everywhere else on the jean, there's no rips or holes or tears. The pockets look amazing. The knees are amazing. So I think this was just kind of the main reason he probably retired these. But had he started doing a little bit of repair work before it turned into a giant blowout like this, they probably would have been okay. I think at this point they're still repairable, but it's quite a bit of work to repair this. Coming down, we have some really nice honeycombs on the back. Very classic. Decent contrast on them and good 3D texture. You can see a little bit of cracking on this side at the bottom as well on this side. So yeah, nice work on the honeycombs. Not a lot of calf fades, a little bit right here. And the honeycombs kind of continue on, and again, more stacking at the bottom and a slight yellowish tinge, which I'm guessing is probably from the Montreal winters with that snow and dirt, and that kind of flicks up on the back of your jeans, and that grime dyes your jeans a little bit of a yellowy brown color. That's my guess. So let me show you. Here's the front, and here's the back. And let's just show it side by side with a new pair so you can see the difference. So anyways, I want to thank Evan for donating his pair here of the Stretch Selvedge. This is part of our core lineup, so we have it always in stock. You can head over to nakedandfamousdenim.com. We have it in pretty much all of the fits, and you can pick up a pair and start your fading journey just like Evan did. And don't forget to fix your blowouts so you can wear them for a long, long time. I want to thank you guys for tuning in and sticking around until the very end. If you haven't already, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.